just want to go to issues about the ADSB rollout. I asked some questions on the 18th of August, and this is when Dick Smith expressed a number of concerns about the rollout of the ADSB and the impact that could have on general aviation. And I asked you questions about the issue of at-risk component remuneration aspects, bonuses in effect.
Correct.
And you said that you had to take that on notice, and you then gave me an answer which I got a few weeks later, saying that it gave a general answer about corporate performance, Airservices performance as a whole 20%, business group performance against key indicators and initiatives for which the executive's business group has primary accountability 60%, and individual performance 20%. Does that mean you can get a 60% bonus on your pay, or?
Senator, as we said, that we don't have bonuses. It's an at-risk component within the remuneration.
Okay, but you're getting paid more money.
No, we get paid a portion of the at-risk component of our remuneration. So in other words, for example, if you got paid $100,000 as a remuneration package, $40,000 of that could be at risk. So you would get a portion of that, and you don't get a portion that if you haven't met your targets. So in other words, you get paid less than what your annual thing if you don't get 100%.
Okay. So it's not so much a bonus, but if you don't perform, don't meet your targets, you get less money.
Correct.
Which basically means, in a sense, it's kind of like a reverse bonus, in the sense that if you don't perform, you don't get the bonus. You don't
get your full, but you don't get the mortgage. Correct.
Okay. So, can I ask you in relation to this, in respect of this, or does that mean that the remuneration is loaded up in a sense, and if you don't perform, you don't get it?
It's not loaded up, Senator. You get a package that you sign up to as part of the remuneration, and a portion of that.
If you don't meet the targets, you don't get that part of it.
Correct.
Right. So, and it works out to 100% basically, doesn't it? The three components of 20%, 60% and 20%.
Yeah, so for example, that portion of your at-risk component, so if we use the example I used before of 100,000 and 40,000 of that is at risk, that 40,000 is divided up into those parameters.
Okay, of the at-risk component.
Of the at-risk component.
Thank you. All right, so going back to the issue of the ADSB, does the ADSB make up any part of those at-risk components?
No, it doesn't, Senator.
Not at all?
No. The reason I took it on notice the last time when you asked that is to see whether, because I wasn't familiar with specific packages, and in review of that, it's not the case.
Okay,
in regard to ADSB.
Whether ADSB rolls out or not has no impact at all on the remuneration one way or the other?
Correct.
Okay, that's good. It's good to hear that. Can I just go to the issue of the questions I put on notice about the issue of the incident that took place at Melbourne and Essendon airports on the 12th of November 2013 that you're familiar with?
Correct.
Right. And you indicated in an answer that Airservices had reviewed coordination procedures and in July 2014 implemented a number of actions, which I won't have to repeat, although my understanding is that those questions were due in December. We didn't get them until February, is that right?
Senator, we provided the questions on notice and return in accordance with the timelines.
Right, so if we didn't get them, that might have something to do with the department.
Senator, I explained earlier there was some delay in having some of the questions completed, but then also cleared by the Minister.
Right, so the Minister didn't clear them within the time required by the Senate. So you guys complied within the time frame. So if it said by the 4th of December, for instance, you would have provided it to the department, to the Minister's office by the 4th of December, whatever the timeline is. Yeah, no, I'm satisfied with that. So, well, that is relevant in the context of you answered that you implemented a number of actions about keeping Melbourne Tower, keeping them informed in terms of the status of Essendon. Melbourne Tower is advised of aircraft conducting instrument approaches to runway 26 at Essendon, increases Melbourne Tower's awareness of potential conflicts which operate in runway 16 for departures. In addition, an interim system enhancement has been implemented which involves the visual prompt. So all these safeguards are put in place. So what I'm trying to understand is, and I wrote to your chair, Sir Angus Houston, recently, you're aware of what happened at Melbourne and Essendon airports on Australia Day this year.
That's correct.
Can you just run us through that very briefly? Because it concerns me that it's happened again despite these processes that have been put in place.
Senator, it may be easier to run through that. I've got a document table which actually has both the incident of the 12th of November 2013, the original incident. No, I've got
Don't
it
say
in the
time.
table.
And it might be...
And it's got the actions taken, but also the event of the 26th of January and the details associated with
Maybe
those.
we get some copies through the Secretary.
I've actually got some copies here as well.
Well, I move that it be tabled. Yeah, I'm trying to get through it, Chair. Okay, so you understand my concern in relation to this regard. I obviously haven't had an opportunity to look at this. You understand my concern that I thought,
Yeah, very much understand your concern that there are two incidents that are very similar. As you'll see from the document that we detail or have provided and tabled, is that there are some extra circumstances that occurred differently from the first one that created the same event, and that's what we're investigating to put in extra mitigation to ensure that it doesn't happen.
It's a pity I didn't see this beforehand, because I obviously won't be able to ask you questions about it. May have to put some questions on notice, or either following estimates or another committee hearing. The November 2, in this last incident, it appears as though the incident has been reported as a loss of separation. Is that correct?
This last incident on the 26th of January was a loss of separation.
Okay. The November 2013 incident, according to people that I speak to in aviation, as I understand, it was only reported as a loss of communication, yet the circumstances, in my view, were just as serious. It was a loss of separation only, wasn't it, in substance?
It was actually a breakdown of coordination, the first instance.
But
The second incident was also a breakdown of coordination which resulted in a loss of separation. The first incident, although it was a breakdown of coordination, there was no loss of separation as a result.
You're absolutely certain of that, though?
That is, yes, I am certain, and that's the same as the ATSB report.
Because of time constraints, I'm going to be very patient, Chair, but if you could explain, not now, but on notice, as to why that is the case, because you're aware, under the Transport Safety Investigation Act, there's compulsory reporting. These loss of separation must be reported.
And also breakdowns of coordination are also compulsory reported as well.
Xenophon, can we go to putting some on notice?
I'm doing my best, Chair. That's what I'm doing.
How much have you got in ATSB? Because we've got AMSAR after that and then something after that.
Can you give me 3 or 4 minutes? I'm racing through it as quickly as I can. Chair, I've been very patient.
Yeah, I know. How much do you need in ATSB?
These are safety issues that I've been asked.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Can I just ask, in terms of, this is just a broad question, it's not a fishing question, but I just want to ask, has Airservices made any requests for the metadata of air traffic controllers to be obtained?
Not to my knowledge, Senator. I will confirm that, but that is, to my knowledge, no.
Okay, so that you're not checking up on air traffic controllers about who they've been speaking to, whatever?
Not at all, Senator.
Right, no, I just want to...
No.
I don't know.
I'm providing this.
Okay.
Not at all.
And you don't have any issue with air traffic controllers speaking to members of Parliament who've got an interest in this field?
Not at all, Senator.
There won't be any retribution?
Absolutely not.
Good. Just want to ask you, in terms of the issues of loss of separation, or two incidents were brought to my attention. Obviously, you're familiar with the 5th of July last year incident.
That's correct, Senator.
And there's been some media coverage of that. As a result of that, I had a couple of emails from people that were on a couple of flights. You may want to take this on notice. One was a flight on the 14th of December 2013. The report was that the Qantas aircraft touched the wheels for a split second, then took off, akin to being like a Top Gun, like something out of the movie Top Gun. That's what it felt like to the passenger.
Senator, we dealt with this earlier.
No, not with Airservices.
No, but I mean, Jesus.
Well, Chair, seriously, this is a matter. It's a separate issue. I will do it as quickly as I can.
We did this with Cassidy, didn't we?
No.
The same bit of paper.
Can I ask you, where there have been losses, where there have been issues of go-arounds, does Airservices find out about them?
Yes, we do. We record them in our logs.
Okay. can you provide me more information on an issue, on an afternoon of 14th of December 2013 between the Qantas aircraft where the passenger said the pilot went on afterwards, went on the PA and said we needed to take that action so that we could avoid collecting, or some language to that effect, a Virgin aircraft on the tarmac. And another one that occurred on the Jetstar JQ710 flight, a go-around there that occurred on the 22nd of December 2015. If you could just let us know what
22nd
happened.
December 2013.
15.
Yep.
Yeah, if you could let us know what occurred there. And in relation to the issue of the last operations being suspended, can you provide us with any documents between CASA and Airservices and any other relevant documents in respect of that, because those operations have been suspended?
Senator, we will do that, but also there's another document that I'll have to table here.
Well, there you go, Chair. I move that these documents be tabled.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, that's right.
I mean, this is all repetitive.
So this is a timeline of all the interactions we've had in regards to LASO.
All right, thank you.
And the actions
Chair,
that
I'll
we've
put
taken.
the rest of the questions on. Thank you.
But also, we will provide the rest of the correspondence on notice.
I'll put them on
All
notice.
right, go.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.